If you like it hard and fast, you're in the right place. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, Jon Barbas, and I'm bringing you my top 5 favorite thrash metal albums of 2024 on episode 196 of Heavy Metal Philosophy. And you might be saying, how good of a year was it? It's so good that I'm bringing back the Dealer's Choice segment because 5 isn't enough. So let's jump into it. Let's get into the top 5 now. Coming in at number 5, from Pennsylvania, Vicious Blade with Relentless Force. This record starts off with a scream, and then that first riff hits, and that was your last chance to take a breath. It is relentless from beginning to end. It's like a blackened speed metal mixed with crust punk. And then the lead singer, she sounds like a cross between Angela Gasau and Kronos. And speaking of Kronos, this record really reminds me of those bands that were in that sort of in-between stage between the thrash metal scene of the early 80s and the first wave of black metal that came in the mid 80s. This sounds like one of those transition bands, except for it's a new band and it's modern and it's heavy and it's fast and it's awesome. Check it out. Coming in at number 4, from Los Angeles, California, the OGs, Body Count with Merciless. I gotta tell you, I love Ice-T, and I totally respect how he was able to move from one genre where he's a legend and then go and excel in a completely other genre. He has stayed relevant for many decades. You know, once that sort of late 80s gangster rap fell out of favor, cool, he'll just go do acting and be a megastar there and start a metal band and be a megastar there, and his style totally translates to the crossover thrash style. And here you see Body Count upping their game. You hear Ernie incorporating some hardcore riffs into his groovy thrash. Plus, there's some guest appearances on this record from Corpse Grinder, which is awesome, and Howard Jones and Max Cavalera, which gives the record this sort of fresh injection of new sound before it goes back to Ice-T's scathing social commentary, and it's just so hard. Get it. Coming in at number 3, from New Orleans, Exhorder, Defectum Omnium. The veterans are back, and this is how you stay relevant even after all this time. You put out a record like this, they know exactly when to thrash, exactly when to groove, throw in some punk in there as well, keep it angry. There's stomping sections, and they brought on board Pat O'Brien. I'm so glad to see Pat land on his feet, and I hope he has a long and fruitful career with Exhorder leading forward, and on the next record, maybe give him a few more guitar solos, huh? Coming in at number 2, and I have a feeling this one might be a little controversial, from Germany, Dust Bolt with Sound and Fury. Now, I think a lot of pure thrash fans will absolutely hate this record because they've sort of modernized their sound, but you know me, I love novelty, and this is definitely a novel record. It kind of sounds like if Slipknot was to make a record but then incorporate the sort of upbeat quirkiness of Faith No More and then do some big pop choruses. No, that sounds weird, and it does sound weird if you listen to it, but it still has those old school thrash metal riffs sprinkled in there, so kinda is thrash, kinda isn't thrash. All I know is I enjoyed listening to it, and it's definitely the most unique record on this list, so go check it out. And hey, before we do number 1, I just got one thing I want to say to you. If you love metal the way that I love metal, then you're in the right place, and you should join the Heavy Metal Philosophy community, because that's all we do here is talk about the latest and greatest in metal and analyze why we do the things we do in this community. That's the name of the game. Hit the like and subscribe button if you want to hear more of that. We're going to do more album of the year episodes as we close out the year. I think next week will be black metal, then we'll do death metal, then we'll do prog, and then it'll be episode 200. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to do for there, but let's go into number 1 now. And here we are, the #1 heavy metal philosophy thrash metal album of 2024 from the Pacific Northwest, Oxygen Destroyer with Guardian of the Universe. If you put this one on first thing in the morning, you won't need any coffee. This will get you hyped. But maybe don't listen to it on your commute because it might entice you into some road rage. This thing is relentless and speedy and heavy. And dare I say it, atmospheric. You might be thinking, atmospheric? This is that like blackened, thrashy death metal band? Yeah. The atmosphere is destruction. And that's why I love Oxygen Destroyer. This record will pummel you and lift your spirits at the same time, which is an incredible feat for a piece of music that's this nasty. The production is raw, but it's still punchy. Just absolutely killer record. Make sure you check it out. And hey, we are not done yet. I promised y'all dealer's choice. So let's do that now. Surprise, I got 2 dealer's choice for you this episode. For new subscribers, you might be wondering, what is dealer's choice? Well, when I do the best new metal albums every weekend, I always have the dealer's choice segment where I get to pick something a little off kilter. I get to break the rules a little bit. And one of my rules is I don't do EPs. There's too many EPs, there's too many singles. I'm only one man, I can't do them all, so I limit what I do to albums. However, these 2 EPs I'm about to talk about are so fantastic, so killer, that they must be spoken about. We break the rules, dealer's choice. The first EP I want to talk about is Enforced. Oh yeah, y'all know I'm gonna do Enforced on a thrash metal episode, right? From Richmond, Virginia, Enforced dropped an EP this year on the heels of their LP War Remains last year, and this sounds like more of War Remains, which means it's awesome. It's got that groovy thrash with Knox Colby's signature bark. More Enforced is always welcome here. And then this next band, from San Antonio, Texas, Life Cycles with their Portal to the Unknown EP. Write it down. I'm saying it. This is the grooviest recording in all of 2024. This band just moves from groove to groove. This EP showcases that they are incapable of writing a boring riff. I looked at their back catalog and it's all singles and EPs. I need y'all to drop a full-length album as soon as possible. This should be a band on your radar if you're into it heavy and groovy, the kind that you cannot keep your head still while you're listening to it. That's what I'm talking about. Get you some of that Life Cycles. Now, we just got done live streaming a watch-along party / drinking game to the Nick Nocturnal Metal Awards, and I had a great time looking at all of those popular bands, many of whom I very much love. I was thrilled by all the Gojira wins, and of course, Knock Loose and several other bands. I absolutely had a great time, but now on this channel, we're going to keep it on the underground. So next week, we're doing the best black metal albums of the year. Then we'll do the best death metal albums of the year. And then the following episode, we'll do the best prog metal albums of the year. So if you're into metal, you need to be subscribed. Hit that button. Make sure you check out the merch, links in description. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you. Death from above, death